it says a D chord, we want to attempt a whole D chord. Quite often you're only expected to play partial chords. So here's an example of a partial chord with a forward backward roll, and then we're going to talk about double stops for that pull off. So let me play you the whole measure first. That's the second measure of line 3. And again. Right, so that's just a simple forward backward roll until you get to that 3-2 pull off. Now let's talk about double stops. Pulling off from a fretted note to another fretted note allows us to use a technique called the double stop. This means you're going to fret both those numbers, the 2 and the 3, at the same time. Then pull off from one finger to the other. So it's pulling off to a closed position. Using double stops is more economical because you're doing two actions together, and by that I mean that both of those fingers are going to go down on the same string together. So when you see that 3-2 business happening, or a 4-2, or a 2-1, anything where you have a higher number and a lower number, not a 0, but you're expected to fret those notes, put those fingers on together and then leverage that second finger, or that first pull off, against the other finger. That's a lot of words, but I think you get what I mean. Let's have another go at that. Okay, so I'm going up the forward backward roll. Now I'm already using the first and second fingers, and I'm just going to pick them up and take them over as one unit. So here we go again. Both land together, play the first part of that pull off. This was with the thumb on the picking hand. Leverage that off as a pull off. Diddle dee, diddle dee. Okay. Last measure of line 3. Do you remember when we slid up to from the 2nd to the 5th fret on the bass note on the 4th string here? Well, here's an example of that, followed by an example of the 2nd to 4th fret slide. So this will sound. On the first measure of line 4, we have a slide up, followed by a slide down. On the second measure of the 4th line, this is where we start. I thought I'd throw some pickup measures in. Pickup notes are kind of like announce that the piece is about to start. They're like little mini intros. So what do all these crosses mean? Well, they're silent beats. It gives that music a bit of a kick in the beginning. So I guess you can make some kind of silent body movement or a grunt or something to occupy that silent beat. Now this measure, the second measure of the 4th line, is coming down on the 2nd string from 3rd fret to 2nd fret to 1st. So I'm going to use 2nd finger, and then fall back onto the 1st finger. So it sounds like this. Dee-da, da, da, dee-da, da, da. And I'm sure you've heard that plenty of times in bluegrass. The next measure is the reverse. Dee-da, da, da, dee-da, da, da. Notice how we're plucking those two strings together with the index and middle finger. I'll play you those two measures again. That's measures 2 and 3 of the 4th line. In the final measure of line 4, we have another silent beat, pickup kind of measure. going to think you're crazy doing this when you get to play with other people, you know. Don't tell them I told you. Okay, first measure of line 5, another silent beat, and this time we're going to climb up from the along the bass note from the 2nd fret to the 4th. It's actually playing a little scale, so it's the scaled bit goes 0, 2, 4, and I'm going to get out of position here and use my 1st finger for the 2nd fret and my 3rd finger for the 4th fret. You could have a go at 2nd finger and pinky fingers if you felt so inclined. Okay, I'm going to make it easy for myself. So, Alright, in the 2nd measure of line 5, we have a pinch, this time with a fretted note, and a double stop. Right, there's double stops, remember, we're leveraging that one finger against the next. Again, I'm out of position. That's just because I'm choosing to use those particular fingers. I could use 2nd and pull off with a 3rd and 2nd if what was coming before or after was a 1st fret with a 1st finger. But I'm making it easy. Okay. Alright, we now have 3 measures which are the start of one particular arrangement of Cripple Creek. You'll see a lot of different ways of getting into Cripple Creek, but basically they all start with a slide from the 2nd to the 5th fret. Do you remember we had a go at that when we were talking about slides? So what are those seagull things on their sides? They're official rest notes for quarter notes. So they're silent beats again, like the crosses. So we'd count da, 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 and then the S underneath signifies we expected to slide that 2 up to the 5, and then we have some open notes. So I'll play you all of those 3 measures of Cripple Creek first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Notice again I took only a partial C chord. You could finger it like that if you wanted. I choose to take it as part of the normal sort of structure of a C chord. So I've got to be ready and use those open notes after I've played that 5 to get back down to 1st position and be ready for that C chord, that partial C. Okay, here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that 5, you understand, is not picked out with a picking hand. That's still part of your slide. And as we said before, a banjo's notes decay very easily, and it sounds a lot better when you play it up to speed. So